Most people assume that enjoying solitude means something is missing, that if you like being alone, you must be lonely, antisocial, or unhappy. Psychology tells a very different story. In many cases, the desire for solitude isn't a weakness at all. It's a signal of a very specific personality pattern. By the end of this, you'll understand why some people genuinely prefer being alone, what's happening in their minds when they choose solitude, and why these individuals often possess traits that others misunderstand or overlook. If you've ever felt out of place for needing more space, this will bring clarity. People who enjoy being alone are not rejecting others. They are responding to how their nervous system processes stimulation. The human brain varies in how much external input it needs to feel balanced. For some, noise, conversation, and constant interaction quickly become overwhelming. Solitude allows their brain to regulate, reset, and function at its best. This sensitivity often shows up early in life. As children, they may have preferred quiet play, reading, or creative activities. As adults, they may feel drained after long social events, even if those events were pleasant. This isn't shyness, it's energy management. Their brain simply restores itself differently. One of the most common traits of people who like being alone is deep self-awareness. Time alone creates space for reflection. Without constant distraction, these individuals become skilled at noticing their thoughts, emotions, and patterns. They often understand themselves better than people who avoid silence. This self-awareness can be uncomfortable at times. Solitude forces you to confront your inner world without escape. People who choose it are often comfortable sitting with complex emotions rather than numbing them with noise or company. That emotional tolerance becomes a quiet strength over time. Have you noticed how some people rush to fill silence while others seem at ease within it? That ease often reflects inner stability rather than emptiness. Another trait commonly found in solitude-loving individuals is high emotional independence. They don't rely heavily on external validation to feel grounded. While they still value connection, their sense of worth isn't constantly shaped by approval, attention, or praise from others. Psychologically, this means their reward system is less dependent on social reinforcement. Instead of chasing stimulation, they find satisfaction in thought, creativity, or meaningful work. This makes them less reactive to social pressure and more comfortable making decisions that align with their values. In real life, this can look like declining invitations without guilt, enjoying solo activities, or taking time to think before responding emotionally. To others, this may appear distant. In reality, it reflects strong internal regulation. People who enjoy being alone also tend to have a rich inner world. Their minds are active, imaginative, and layered. When external stimulation decreases, internal activity increases. This is why many writers, thinkers, artists, and problem solvers crave solitude. Their brain uses quiet time to connect ideas, replay experiences, and explore possibilities. Solitude becomes a laboratory for insight. This doesn't mean they're constantly lost in thought. It means they find depth where others seek distraction. Ask yourself this: when you're alone, does your mind feel empty or does it feel alive? For many solitude-preferring individuals, it's the latter. Another misunderstood trait is selectivity in relationships. People who like being alone are often very intentional about who they let into their lives. Because social interaction requires energy, they invest it carefully. They prefer depth over frequency. This selectivity isn't judgmental, it's protective. Superficial interactions can feel draining, while meaningful conversations feel nourishing. As a result, they may have fewer friends, but those connections are often strong, honest, and long-lasting. In work environments, this trait may show up as a preference for focused tasks, independent projects, or thoughtful collaboration rather than constant meetings. They do well when given space to think and autonomy to work. People who enjoy solitude also tend to have a heightened sensitivity to their environment. They notice subtleties others miss. Tone shifts, emotional undercurrents, and unspoken tension are often clear to them. This sensitivity can be both a gift and a burden. Because they absorb more information, their nervous system needs downtime to recover. Solitude helps them process what they've picked up emotionally and mentally. Without it, they may feel overstimulated or irritable without knowing why. This sensitivity often leads to strong empathy. They understand others deeply, but may struggle in loud or chaotic settings. Choosing solitude becomes a form of self-care, not avoidance. Another key trait is a strong sense of autonomy. People who like being alone are comfortable being self-directed. They don't need constant guidance or companionship to feel secure. This independence often develops from learning to rely on their internal compass. This trait allows them to think critically, question norms, and resist groupthink. They're less likely to adopt opinions simply because they are popular. Solitude gives them space to form their own conclusions. This can make them seem unconventional, but it also makes them resilient. When external circumstances change, they're less likely to lose their sense of direction. There's also a calmness that often accompanies solitude-loving personalities. Because they spend time regulating themselves internally, they may appear grounded during stressful situations. Their brain is practiced at slowing down, observing, and responding, rather than reacting. This doesn't mean they don't feel stress. It means they've learned how to sit with it. Solitude teaches patience. It trains the mind to tolerate uncertainty without panic. Have you noticed how some people need constant reassurance during chaos, while others quietly adapt? That quiet adaptability often grows in moments spent alone. People who enjoy being alone are also more likely to value meaning over stimulation. They seek experiences that feel purposeful rather than exciting for the sake of excitement. This can influence career choices, hobbies, and even lifestyle decisions. They may choose work that allows depth and autonomy rather than status or visibility. They may enjoy routines that others find boring because those routines provide mental clarity. Their satisfaction comes from alignment, not intensity. This trait often matures with age. As social pressure fades, their preference for solitude becomes more pronounced and more confident. It's important to address a common misunderstanding. Enjoying solitude does not mean disliking people. Many solitude-loving individuals care deeply about others. They simply understand their limits and respect them. They know that showing up fully requires recharging first. Solitude allows them to bring presence, patience, and authenticity into their relationships. Without it, they would feel depleted and disconnected. If this sounds familiar, it's likely because you've been misread at some point, labeled distant, quiet, or aloof, when in reality you were simply listening to your internal needs. Here's a surprising insight. People who are comfortable alone often have healthier boundaries. Because they don't fear being alone, they are less likely to stay in relationships that drain or diminish them. Solitude becomes a safe alternative, not a punishment. This reduces emotional dependence and increases self-respect. They choose connection rather than cling to it. That choice changes the quality of every relationship they enter. Take a moment to reflect. Do you feel relief when plans are canceled or anxiety? Your answer reveals more about your nervous system than your social skills. In closing, liking to be alone isn't about isolation, it's about alignment. It's about understanding how your mind works and honoring that design. Solitude can be a source of clarity, creativity, and emotional strength when embraced intentionally. If you recognize yourself in these traits, there is nothing to fix, there is something to protect. Your need for space is not a flaw, it's information. If this perspective resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on how you can honor your need for solitude without guilt. Share your thoughts, support the channel by liking and subscribing, and continue exploring the psychology behind human behavior. The more you understand yourself, the more naturally your life begins to make sense.